Hey everyone, it's 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. I got a special little surprise for all of you who are watching 10 minutes early. We're going to go live. We're going to go live with the interview at 9 o'clock. But for those of you who have tuned in early, just a little bit of something for you guys to watch right now. Let's put this on, shall we? Okay, I'm trying to work out how this works. There we go. There we go. Where do I? What the hell? Yeah. We've got 20 of these brand new Lenovo ThinkPad laptops. E14 Gen 2. What does that mean? It just means you're canggih, bro. Now we're going to give out 20 of these to the most deserving recipients. The most deserving recipients. If you know that this ThinkPad will absolutely change your life, here's what you need to do, okay? First of all, record a video of yourself and tell us your story. Yeah. Tell us why you think you or the person you know deserves the ThinkPad. Remember, the more real the reason, the more compelling it is, the better the chance that we will notice you and this could be yours. Remember to hashtag the Hope Branch X Systemizer. The Hope Branch X Systemizer. Now I'm so sorry, we've only got 20 of these to give away, but we're also going to be giving away, together with that, a dongle with internet connectivity from Systemizer Technique as well. So, and a bag to carry this. So this can really change your life. If you think this can really change your life, get your video into us now. The Hope Branch X Systemizer. The Hope Branch X Systemizer. We're going to have a cutoff date for this. So the cutoff date is right here. I'm just going to say it right here. This is the cutoff date. Very soon, this could be yours. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Hi, I'm Harith Iskander with a 60-second response. In the wake of the US pulling out of Afghanistan and in response to a report that 2 Malaysians who were relief workers chose to stay back instead of leaving, I saw this comment. I will stay back if I'm there. There is nothing to be feared with the Taliban. They couldn't even looking women in the eye just because to respect women, I will feel safe if Taliban rule Afghanistan. Now, I've never been to Afghanistan, so I personally can't tell you if the Taliban respect women so much, but then not allowing women out of the house and making them cover up with a burqa completely, including a black sheath over the eyes, would help prevent men from looking at women's eyes. But here's my question. If Afghanis themselves felt safe around the Taliban, why were there scenes of thousands of people storming the airport, desperate for a way out, and the horrific video of people willing to die by hanging off the wheels of an airplane as it took off? When a person makes a choice to either die trying to escape the Taliban or stay, then something tells me staying might be worse than dying. I'm Harith Iskander, 60-second response. Hey, it's Harith Iskander, 60-second response. I got a direct message on Facebook from a Joe Harith who asked, Harith, you anti-Melayu ke? Nak dapat sokong non-bumi sebab family you semua tak ada Malays. Lucky your late father Melayu bracket soldier. Kalau dia ada, sedih tengok you sekarang. Okay, I tried to reply to Joe Harith directly on Facebook, but I think he blocked me. I could not do that, so I'm putting it out there. My late father, Colonel Musa bin Muhammad, waktu dia di hutan during the communist insurgency in the 60s and 70s, alongside all the other soldiers daripada berbagai bangsa of the 6th Regiment Rangers, tak pernah fikir kita sedang bertugas untuk mempertahankan bumi ataupun non-bumi. Diorang semua fikir kita bertugas untuk mempertahankan rakyat Malaysia. So I don't think my late father would be sedih to see what I'm doing now. Tapi mungkin dia sedih kalau dia tahu ada juga orang Malaysia zaman ini yang ada mentaliti yang kata kita hanya boleh sokong bumi atau hanya boleh sokong non-bumi. I'm Harith Iskander, 60-second response. Saya sokong Malaysia. Hi, Harith Iskander, 60-second response. You've heard about the Bendera Putih movement, a wonderful initiative encouraging people who are desperate kepada mana-mana rumah yang terputus bakalan makanan and they need immediate help to reach out by waving a white flag. Tak perlu malu, tak perlu merayu. Now, in the wake of this fantastic initiative, the Ahli Parlimen of Bachok, Nik Ado, responded by saying, angkat tangan berdoa, bukan angkat bendera putih, suggesting that the power lies in prayer and not in a white flag. I have a suggestion. Combine the two. If you're hungry and you have no money and you haven't eaten for 3 days because the ongoing pandemic has destroyed your livelihood, how about you angkat bendera putih and then angkat tangan berdoa and hope that someone sees your bendera putih and brings you and your kids some rice and some vegetables and maybe a little milk because you have been feeding your 6-month-old baby syrup because you couldn't afford milk. That is a true story, by the way. Saya angkat tangan berdoa that you've enjoyed my 60-second response. Hi, Harith Iskander with a 60-second response. Hamelin TV from IG asked, Mr. Harith Iskander, why you can't run for Prime Minister? First of all, thank you for the kind message. And secondly, to become Prime Minister in Malaysia, you need to first be the leader of a political party or a coalition. And then your party or coalition needs to win the actual election, at which point the PM is chosen by the members of the parliament, usually made up of members of the winning party. Which begs the question, what if we, the Rakyat, could actually choose the Prime Minister or any other minister for that matter? So for example, what if we, the Rakyat, could vote for person A to be the Prime Minister, and he's from this party, but we like person B to be the Minister of Education and he's from a different party, and then we like person C to be the Home Minister and he's a complete independent, which means instead of ministers being chosen from the pool of people who are members of the one winning party, we get to elect the person that we think could actually be best for the job. So what about that? Harith Iskander, 60-second response. Hi, Harith Iskander with a 60-second response to this news item.
Kementerian Kesihatan menjelaskan mana-mana individu yang terbukti diberikan suntikan vaksin picagari kosong akan menerima suntikan dos baru.
Menterinya Datuk Seri Dr. Adham Baba berkata pihaknya akan memanggil individu berkenaan untuk menerima suntikan semula.
Prove that you were given an empty syringe and the ministry will contact you to give you a proper dose? I have 2 questions. 1, how do I prove I received an empty syringe? And 2, how do I prove I received an empty syringe? There's a sign outside the door that clearly says no video camera allowed, or you can take an antibody test to find out. Oh, so now the onus is on me to prove that you didn't give me the vaccination that you said you would. But here is what really concerns me. The reaction of, oh, you had an empty syringe, tak apa, prove it, we'll give you another jab. This isn't like going to the mechanic. Oh, we didn't change your engine oil, tak apa, prove it, we'll change your engine oil. It should be, we didn't actually give you the vaccine which we promised we were going to give you to potentially save your life. And if you hadn't videotaped it, we would never have known. I am so sorry. Why didn't they react that way? You know what's worse? Amongst the millions, and I mean millions of vaccinations already given out, these few incidents have spoiled it for the thousands of good, honest Malaysians who've been working so hard to make this vaccination program a success. This is Harith Iskander with a slightly longer response than 60 seconds. Get vaccinated. Assalamualaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to What's Going On Malaysia. My name is Harith Iskander, and I'm so happy. I'm happy because you guys are here once again. You guys have been, some of you have been waiting, like you've been online for the last 15, 20 minutes already, starting the chat in the YouTube section. So thank you very much for looking forward to the show and being with us tonight. Terima kasih, Sugamaran. Good evening to you. This is an interactive show. Like I said before, we're going to be acknowledging, we're going to be talking to, we're going to be answering your questions. You are so hebat and leader of Facebook Live. Thank you. Alistair, you're doing a good job. Oh, stop it, guys. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No, don't stop. Just keep on telling me how great I am, because that's what makes Malaysia, right? You just keep on telling people how good they are, and they don't need to get better. I hope you got that. Anyway, guys, can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know in the comment section. Keep on commenting throughout the night, because I will be keeping an eye out onto the section. Kevin Tan watching from Bangkok. Yes, also let me know where you're watching from. Watching from Bangkok. What's up, Saudi Cup, Kevin Tan? Which we miss going to Bangkok. My wife and I, we miss going to Bangkok. Love walking around the streets there and up and down Chatuchak. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching from Sandakan. Christopher Arban from Sandakan. And also, remember to share this Facebook and this YouTube live. If you're watching on my YouTube, please subscribe and also share it. Because, guys, the guests that I have got on tonight, frankly, I have just been... I've been stalking him. I've been stalking him on Twitter. I've been stalking him on Facebook, and very recently, people have been sharing his clips or his little videos with me on WhatsApp. So I can't even get away from him, but with good reason, because this gentleman is not only not smart and opinionated. Not only that, but also someone who knows what he's talking about. And I think that's very important when you are when you're going to say something about anything. You want to have a little bit of a sense of what you're talking about. And that's why I do the show What's Going On Malaysia, because I want to find out the answer to the question, what's going on Malaysia? And that is why I invite the people I do on my show. And some of you are saying, why you invite this person? Why you invite that person? I want you to invite this person. I want you to invite that person. Guys, I like to talk to people, and I like to talk to smart people, people who have an opinion, and people who have, most importantly, different points of view from me, because that's the way we can all learn. And this gentleman, I wouldn't say has a different point of view from me, but he's definitely got some very strong opinions and very strong thoughts. And I think tonight's going to be very valuable. So I implore you once again, implore dalam bahasa Malaysia apa? Tepukan. My wife, she got A2 for SPM bahasa. I got P8, and she says implore is tepukan. Not applaud, implore. didn't say she was great at Bahasa, didn't say she was great at hearing. Guys, I implore you to share this stream right now. If you're watching this tomorrow, the next day, whenever, share it as well, because you need to hear. We have not even started talking, but I know whatever we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be valuable for you, for me, for the whole wide world. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Those of you from the 70s and 80s may remember that song. Without much further ado, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya akan menjemput ke streaming ini, ke sungai ini. Sungai, sayang. Stream, sungai. You should have seen the look she gave me. This is the look she gave me. Yeah. Okay, guys, you know what? Screw with the comedy. We're going to get serious right now. Please welcome to the studio none other than Dato ZAID IBRAHIM. Apa khabar, Tuan? How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Alice. Thank you.
Okay, that very, very good. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. I understand you've not been 100% in your health. Is everything okay? Would you like to share what's been going on there?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay.
You're okay?
You know, when you're old, just like an old car, you need to sort out a few things, but otherwise I'm okay.
I wouldn't say old. We'll call it classic. Classic. Okay. So, I don't want to step over formalities. Neither do I want to offend. How do I refer to you over this streaming? Zaid? Okay. Let's do this, Zaid. First of all, thank you very much for being on the show. I don't know. Is it just me that I'm noticing you're very much into social media now? Your videos are being shared on my WhatsApp groups. You're popping up in my Twitter feed. Is it just me, or have you always been this active on social media?
Well, I have always been active in the sense that I write quite a fair bit on my Facebook, and I tweet. Sometimes when life gets unbearable, you tweet.
That's true.
And then, I give speeches in those days here and there. So in that sense, yeah, I'm quite active on these issues.
So I've been following you on Twitter, and you tweet quite consistently. I'm actually very, very jealous and proud, because you are tweeting almost every minute upon the minute. Are you doing this yourself, or is your very smart and clever and capable son Ezra doing this for you? What's the secret?
No, I do it myself, of course.
Okay, so let's just jump straight into this. What caught the attention of a lot of people who might not have known you prior to this was a WhatsApp video that was been spreading around, where you had a personal message to the young di Pertuan Agong. And I think everybody has seen that message. It was definitely shared on my WhatsApp groups. What compelled you to, and for those of you who have not seen the message, perhaps give a little bit of background on what was contained in the message, and what compelled you to record that very personal plea to the young di Pertuan Agong?
Well, you see, there was, we have a crisis, as you know how it is. The country is in deep crisis. Not just COVID, but the economy, people losing jobs. We are in very difficult time. And that is the time when we have to have a new prime minister. There is, I thought that it's very important for me to express my views that the country needs someone who's credible, someone who can save this country in a way. And so I wasn't very keen. The discussion then, last 2 weeks, was about who has the majority. But I said, if that's the issue, we just go to Parliament, we can count. The reason why we have to go to the king, the Istana, is because we're not looking at numbers, we're looking at judgment. We're looking at wisdom. We're looking at guidance. And hence, I feel that it is best that the palace use that opportunity to pick the best person for the job. But then I suppose the decision has been made, and we accept that, and we just have to move on. We just have to move on. But that's the context and the background upon why I made that personal appeal.
But you are a lawyer yourself, and I'm sure you know a lot about the Constitution and the law, that you would know that to a certain extent, the Agung's hands were, not to say were tied, but to a certain extent needs to follow certain rules, i.e. the numbers, right?
No, that's where they are. That's where people are mistaken.
Oh, okay. Please enlighten me.
When there's a vacancy in government, and for example, when Tun Mahathir resigned, there was a vacancy. And so the king then appointed Mahyudin as prime minister, because he has to appoint someone whom he thinks commands the majority, the confidence of the House. So it doesn't have to be established at that point in time that person has majority. All it needs to be established is that he has the viewpoint. He believes that someone like A or B would have the support of the House, and that is why he is entitled not just to rely on the numbers. The numbers will be in Parliament. See, the Queen in England also appoints someone like the opposition leader sometimes, would invite him or her to form the government. That person then has to bring it to Parliament to test the support level. So it is not correct to say the king, at that point, 2 weeks ago, has to decide who has the majority. No, I think that's where it's all wrong. I think it is important that we get this right, because otherwise we are reducing our monarch, our king, as a scrutineer, as the scrutineer. We should not do that. We should, the purpose of going to see the king and asking, or when the prime minister resigned, there's a vacancy, the king then has to invite someone. By convention, he either invites the leader of the opposition, or he can invite another member of the party, whoever he thinks has the support of the House. So that is what I thought should be done.
Okay.
Because if you say the counting has been done 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, then why do you need a vote of confidence in the House again?
Okay. Fair enough.
So yes. So that is why I made that statement.
Okay. Fair enough. Fast forward. Listen, things just happen so fast right now. So when I say fast forward, I literally mean like maybe 5 days. So now we had PM9 come in, that was Ismail Sabri. And of most interest was yesterday where photographs and the story came out where he met up with 3 leaders of the opposition, the 3 key leaders, that is Anwar Ibrahim, Lim Guan Eng, as well as Muhammad Sabu. What did you take from this?
Oh, I'm very happy with this development. You know, I have always maintained that there should be rapprochement in our politics. There should be engagement. We cannot continue to have this forever and ever fighting and quarreling. There has to be some common ground. Even people with opposite views about most things can agree on something. As I said, the country is in crisis. We have got 24,000 cases today, COVID. Yeah. And our death number has gone up to 50,000 now. And the economy is weak. It's very weak. So at this moment in time, political leaders must show example that they are willing to sit down and discuss. And I think that's a good development for Anwar and for Lim Guan Eng and the opposition to sit down with the Prime Minister. And I think it's very gracious of the Prime Minister to have some discussion. I know Aris, people will be skeptical about this, and they will say, "Oh, this is another of this political play going, you know." And I understand that. I can understand that because we are so used to that sort of backstabbing and political, you know, charade.
Yeah.
But I think we must have some. We have to change our ways. We have to have some trust that things can work out. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I don't know whether you've heard, but the latest phrase on social media is "nah, he tweaking." Now, I'm gonna test you. Do you know what "nah, he tweaking" means? Zaid?
I don't know.
Frankly speaking, I didn't know. I had to Google it because my wife actually. It just basically means something along the lines of "nah, he bullshitting." Or so whenever someone doesn't believe something, they see a picture they don't believe, or they see a statement they don't believe, they go, "Nah, he's tweaking." But I want to ask you this because this is something that you can give us insight on. You were in the Prime Minister's, what shall I say, team, realm, department. You were a minister in the Legal and Reform. What would you call a board or a team back in the day? So you know all the people who are now the players in the game, right? You know them, you've met them, you've dealt with them. What is different today, do you think, than how when you were there within the halls of the whole organization? By that I mean the government.
Well, in the first place, I can say I know them well. No, you know, there are a lot of people now who are major players who are not in the cabinet then.
Okay.
So I can't say I know them well. But one thing you must remember, Harry, is that politics is very dynamic. You know, there's a lot of things moving and a lot of changes, although we may not see it, although it may not so obvious. You see political parties too, they change, you know, because the leaders change, the personalities change. You know, for example, I mean, people say UMNO is like this, like this, like this. But UMNO too has different leadership, different leaders coming through the system, you know. And so is the other parties, PAS or PKR. So I think it is not right for us to be kind of stuck to a certain framework, you know, or we believe that certain political parties cannot be useful for us. Because it's not the parties actually that are important, the leaders, the people involved. So I think 10 years ago, you know, now even UMNO has different leaders now. Even, you know, many political parties have different leaders now. PAS has different leaders now. So the dynamics have changed. So we cannot be so
Rigid?
Yes, we cannot be so rigid. We cannot be so unforgiving, you know. We must have hope that things can be better.
Oh, Zaid, you sound like you're softening up a little bit. But I guess you are following your own advice about, because if I follow your tweets, you seem a lot more angry, a lot more determined, a lot more pained, I would say. But no, I'm just kidding with you here. But I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, because Ares, tweets are situational.
Ooh,
Sometimes,
I like that.
You know, you wake up in the morning and then you see somebody say something stupid, you react to it, you know. But when I talk to you, I tend to be more circumspect, you know.
Okay. Oh, well, you know, yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Tweets are one of those things where sometimes you kind of wish, like an hour later, ooh, I wish I didn't say that because that was what I felt then. Okay, so let us, in your learned opinion, if I may ask this. So now you see a potential unrigiding, a potential softening, a potential crossover in understanding. But let's be honest and frank here. I know there's always hope, but given the history of what all these individuals, and by that I mean the Anwar camp and the Mahathir camp and the ZAID camp and the Ismail Sobri camp, and given the history, Can we see any real change, do you think?
Well, expectations differ, Haris, But I always believe that when you have a new leader, today we have a new prime minister, and I think we must give him chance to put his mark, to try his ways, and we should not be too hasty in making judgment about his motive. He has opened up his office to the opposition, and I think likewise the opposition leaders, Anwar and all that, have accepted. And I think we should take it in good faith because we are in crisis. We have a real problem in this country. And I think leaders, I think the Rakyat too, must not be too cynical to the point where you demoralize the leaders. We too must help to prop up the morale. We too must do our bit to support whatever that is being done to make it work. Because it is in our interest to make things work. It is not in our interest to ridicule forever. It is not in our interest to make things fail. And therefore, I think now it's just 1 week old, this government, and I don't even know who's in the cabinet. Tomorrow we will know.
But tomorrow, right?
Yes. I just hope things will work out. And it cannot work out unless we try.
Okay. I believe we're going to be listening or finding out who's in the cabinet tomorrow. Are there any, let's just talk off the cuff here. Any individuals you would like to see in certain positions? Any people that you have said, this person is doing good? I like to focus on the good usually.
Alice, I think I'm quite happy. I'm looking forward to see what kind of prime minister do we have? Are we going to have? That's all that matters. Because in our system, Alice, we're not really a cabinet system in the way that the Westminster government is. You see, they say in England, the prime minister is a first among equals. It's like he's equal to the other ministers. In our system, in our practice, in our history, the prime minister is the man who sets the tone. The prime minister is the man who decides what he wants and what cannot be done. So leadership is critical. And if we can have Ismail Sabri, I don't know him that well, but if he can be a prime minister for the country, for the people, whoever he picks up, he can change them. He can be very prime ministerial. He can impose policies in his meetings. He can tell them, I want this to be done. So it doesn't really matter very much, I think. In the first place, he has very limited options because he comes, so many parties are involved, so many factions are involved, and naturally, he probably have to pick some of them, whatever he feels about them, So, but it doesn't matter. What is important is that he has a clear line of thought. What is he going to do about COVID? What is he going to do about the economy? What is he going to do about the civil service? And if he can be that prime minister that we're all looking for, and if he can be supported by MPs in Parliament who can work with him towards that, then it is not so critical who becomes what in tomorrow's list.
Okay, so let me see whether I've heard you correctly. What you're saying is it actually doesn't matter who gets what position, but it actually matters on the leadership. If the leader is able to oversee everything in a proper and effective manner, then it doesn't really matter to a complete extent who gets what position. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember when Winston Churchill formed up the cabinet in the face of Hitler, in the face of the Second World War. Everybody says he should not take this fellow, he should not take this fellow, he shouldn't take this, he should take this. But you must remember, there's only one guy who pulled Britain through the war. It's Winston Churchill. It's Winston Churchill who inspired them. It's Winston Churchill who sets priorities. It's Winston Churchill who set those fellows who's not doing whatever he wanted them to do. So it's all about leadership, Haris. And this is what we need from our Prime Minister. Leadership.
It's all about leadership, and this is what we need from our Prime Minister.
Yes.
I'm with you on that one. Let me just bring up this comment from a gentleman called Sunny Matthias. This is quite interesting, and I think I want to respond to this. All the talk, seriously, I don't think anything can change in Malaysia as long as they practice favoritism, racial and religious politics. Don't fool yourself, Harith. Nothing can change in Malaysia. First of all, I'd like to visit Malaysia one day. I'm sure it's a very nice country. Sounds a lot like Malaysia. But on a more serious note, this, I think, Sunny, I'm not making fun of you. I think your anger, your frustration is actually very real, and it's felt by a lot of people because everything seems to be layered upon race, religious politics, and favoritism. By that I mean, I guess you mean nepotism and cronyism. Zaid, I mean, this is a fair comment, wouldn't you say? Every argument seems to dive back to race or religion or cronyism. It seems like a very difficult hole to get out of.
Yes.
Do you think we can?
I have been writing about these various subjects that you talk about, or that guy talk about.
Yeah.
I've been writing books about them. I have been saying all these things. And I'm old enough to know that some of these issues are very difficult to overcome. Yes. But in the life of the nation, we are 63 years old, 65, whatever. In the life of the nation, it takes much longer time to sort things out. Do you think America, after 220 years, can sort out democracy, racial equality in America? Do you think all these other issues that this guy talked about, it happened in other countries too? But I believe in one thing, Haris. I believe Malaysians are good people, generally. Regardless of race, regardless of their economic level, they are good people. And good people will be together. They just need time, they just need leadership, they just need the right team to form the government and to establish the fundamentals. I don't see anywhere in the world where people of multi-religious, multi-ethnic background and all sorts of differences are so closely bound like we are. You know, this is a blessed country, and we should never give up. We should never say, although we do say that, sometimes we're very angry, sometimes we are frustrated, sure. But in the real sense, this country can be saved. But we just need our role as well. I mean, the people too must be positive. You cannot expect leaders to be positive and hopeful and inspiring if we are not. If we, the followers, are always putting everybody down, if we, the followers, are always very negative about things, we can't help. So I coming back to your issue, I'm quite happy to say this, that perhaps not in my time, but there'll come a time when I think people will see sense, they'll get together, and they get the right things done.
You're actually delivering a message which seems to be quite different, because usually it is the rakyat going, apalah leader ni, apalah politician ni. What you are actually saying is, we as a society, we as a rakyat should get into a positive outlook, a positive vibe, which will then encourage the leaders to better lead.
Not only encourage others, it will shape the leaders' thinking. You see, the leaders are the product of what we are. I mean, we, the community, if our values are so, shall I say, screwed up, then we produce that sort of leaders in society. But if we hold strong to the right values, if we hold strong to the right thinking, and I think we can help shape the kind of leaders we produce. So it is not always the people at the top shape things in society. I think it's the people too that has to make a decision, and then to make the necessary sacrifice to build that solidarity, to build that unity, to build the right thing for the country. For example, let me say this. You know, I'm worried about COVID. Let me tell you, I don't see any proper plan at the moment. I hope the new Prime Minister will come out with a proper plan. I'm worried
Yeah.
that the businesses are failing, small businesses. I'm worried about it. And government give money and then they give a few million to the MPs, but that won't help because it will help the MPs, but it won't help the people. I wish the government would give direct to the people, help the people, spend more money. Don't worry about deficit. Help the people to live, so that the people then will have more energy. The people can generate more income. It brings confidence. So the idea of revival, this is our Normandy. This is our Second World War. If we cannot overcome this together, we are not going to go very far, regardless of what your plan about other issues. So I just hope that the people work with the government, work with the people, not in a slogan way or in just politicizing it, but really sincerely finding ways to overcome this problem. And I think that's how we should do it. It's an opportunity,
Yeah, I agree with you because I think there are a lot of I think there have been a lot of weaknesses in especially the health industry about how COVID has been handled. I've recently discovered many what I would consider weaknesses. But at the top of mind, everybody is concerned about COVID, and we too. But at the end of the day as well, you're talking about the economy, and you're right. We need to be stronger, not just health-wise. We need to be stronger economically. We need to be able to earn. We need to be able to get back to work. We need to be able to stand up and pay rent. Just pay the rent, pay electricity.
Yeah. We have to have a balance, Haris.
Yeah.
There's a Bangladesh politician who said this, and it's very, very accurate. He said it takes 15 days to die of COVID, but it will take only 7 days to die of hunger. So somewhere along the line, we just have to find a balance. And that is where I think government should, shall I say, be more active, be more vigorous in making new approaches, in helping the people. I see a lot of time we are doing the same thing. We are doing the bureaucracy functions in the same way. The forms are like that. Oh, we cannot do this because the operating procedures are like this. I think we should look at the people. How do we save the people? And not the system. The system sometimes sucks. And I think it sucks. You can see it now. So you have to, this is where I said leadership again. We have to start doing, we meaning the government, and the civil service, and the Bank Negara, and the finance minister, and transport minister, and education minister. Can they come out and explain what they are doing? At the moment, they're all quiet. They are very quiet.
Well, at the moment, they're quiet because we don't know who they are, basically. At the moment.
But when I say at the moment, I was referring to a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I know.
I hope by tomorrow, they will speak up. They will come out. Don't be afraid of the press. Come out and explain what their plans.
Yes.
Don't be afraid.
That is my minister. Yes.
You must be able to stand up and be questioned. You must be able to say, "This is what I want to do."
Yes.
So let's do that.
I totally agree with you. I wait for the day when the powers that be or whoever's in the ministry stands up. I mean, other than the medical DG or whatever, just every day stand up and says, "Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do." Take the questions, take the beating, take the feedback, and just go. You know what? I haven't thought about that. That's a good idea. Let me see. But right now, we hardly hear. We hear what is the problem today and how many people die, but we don't hear, here's what's going to happen in 1 month, here's what's going to happen in 1 year, here's what's going to happen in 5 years. That's what I want to hear.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I agree with you. Okay. ZAID, we've received a lot of questions from viewers who watch the show. I'd like to play one of the videos now. This is from a Jane. I believe she's from East Malaysia. And let's hear her question.
Hi, Dato ZAID and Mr. Harith Iskandar. I'm Mary from Kuching. I have one question for Dato' ZAID. Having worked in the PM Legal and Judicial Reforms Department, when can you really foresee the reality of judicial reforms in Malaysia, taking into account many high-profile corruption cases in Malaysia now? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, Mary from Kuching.
All right. Okay. It is, as you know, corruption, bribery, and all this. It's all interrelated with politics as well. You know, you cannot solve the problem just taking a particular department or changing a particular officer or changing a particular law. You know, you have to look at the whole structure. And I think we can only overcome, in my view, the first thing to do is actually to eliminate political funding, illegal funding. And I think this is where the law on the reform on political funding should be instituted. I think this is the mother of all corruption, politics. So I feel that politics, you need money, of course. You know, you need money to campaign, to spend on your program. And that is why I think taxpayers should allocate some money for those political parties that are contesting the election. The bigger the party is, you know, the more votes you get, then the more allocation you should receive. So I think when political parties receive money from this fund, as most countries have that system, there is less propensity, there's less inclination for political leaders to ask for money, for donation. So I think that is the first step I think we should do. And of course, secondly, as far as the institutions are concerned, you would like to have the police who are also professional, corrupt-free. Because if the police are not corrupt-free, then it is very difficult to investigate all these cases fairly and to prosecute these cases. You know? And you need the police, and not only the police, because there's a lot of the cases comes under MACC. Now, MACC too must be professional, must be able to investigate fairly. MACC must also be allowed, and there should not be political interference and all that. So there's a lot of things to be done. And it's not it's not something you can do in one clean sweep. You have to do step by step. But I think the mother of it all is political corruption and funding.
The mother of it all is political corruption and funding. Yeah, the amazing thing is, and I think we both come from a similar kind of generation, that remember, I don't think I heard the word billion until 5 or 8 years ago. I didn't even know the word, but now it's become part of our vocabulary. I believe corruption has and always been there, but it's just the magnitude, the size of it, the naturalness, if I can use that word, that is scary for me. At the end of the day, in Asian culture, we are a culture of giving, masuk rumah, makan lah. I bring fruits drop from my house, I give to you. You buy some cakes, you give to me. We are a culture of giving, but then it's just grown to incredible levels. I don't know whether we will ever get rid of it, but I definitely look forward to the day when we reduce it. You are a law person. You are a lawyer by profession and by history. You've been there, done that. You've seen how law works. Let me ask you this: talking about current cases in the courts right now involving high-level ministers and ex-ministers. When you watch all of this from a law point of view, and you see decisions come out where the public melinting, mana boleh dia dilepas or something without a full understanding. Do you understand why certain individuals are let go, why certain individuals are not, why certain individuals are charged, why some charges are dropped? Or do you yourself get angry as well?
Okay. I think
Not putting you in a spot.
No, firstly, we cannot always agree with the decision of the court. I mean, we all have our point of view. And you must understand, sometimes we are also very political in our point of view, without even being aware of it, without realizing it. We are being political. For example, if certain politicians that we favor is acquitted, we say, oh, it's about time. Or if he's charged, we say, oh, that's persecution. So there is some political coloring as well. We cannot avoid that. By and large, to answer your question, by and large, I feel our judiciary has been doing well. I think they have shown independence. But you don't always. You see, the question of not charging someone or withdrawing cases is not the judicial work. It's not the judiciary. That is.
It isn't.
It is. That is the Attorney General's office. That is the government side. The judiciary don't let go anybody who's been charged. They can't unless they're acquitted. And when they are acquitted, they give the reason why the acquittal was given. So I feel that our courts are doing well. And whilst you don't always agree with the decision, I think there's no reason to doubt that they are influenced in some ways by the hierarchy. So I'm okay with the system. Although I wish we had more independence and professionalism in our departments, like the MACC, the police, and that sort of places. I think we should make it better. Yeah.
Okay. How do you make it better? How do you make the MACC or the police more professional in your words? Who polices the police?
The police. For example, the police. You see, there is a police commission. The police commission. The police. But of course, you can make it better when you have the right people in that commission. And the people in the commission wants to be professional about it. So if the police commission appoints Haris Iskandar as the IGP, because he's the best person for the job, that is the first step. That is the first big step towards. But if the commission members are so scared of the Prime Minister and ask the Prime Minister, who should we appoint, Haris or ZAID? And the Prime Minister, Haris, or A or B. This is the problem. Our deference to our Prime Minister. Our Prime Minister is so powerful, so much so that it's probably cultural, Haris, but we have given the man so much power. That is why it's difficult for the public to accept that our police force is professional or our MACC is professional, because all appointments go back to him. And this is where we have to address the issue in some ways. There has to be, you have to insulate the powers of the Prime Minister for some of these appointments. And that is why there's a lot of talk about the role of Parliament in this regard. How Parliament can provide input in the selection of all the leaders of the Police Commission, of the MACC chief, of the Chief Justice, of whoever. So that is why in America, the Senate has to approve all these appointments. Now, if we have some sort of check and balance from Parliament, select committees, special select committees, and all these important appointments, we will get that. We will get that. But at the moment, we don't, because everything goes back to the Prime Minister.
Okay, let me ask you this. How did we get to the point where, in your words, everything goes back to the Prime Minister? The Prime Minister is so powerful. When did that happen?
Oh, that is historical. Because when the Parliament is weak, because you must remember the history of this country. Barisan Nasional was running this country with 2/3 majority for how many donkeys' years? So
many donkeys.
You don't question the Prime Minister. So I think somewhere along that line, somewhere along the way, we have got this, cultural deference, political deference to the Prime Minister. Everything he must agree. Whereas we should have strengthened our parliamentary system, our select committees, to have a role in deciding who should be holding this important position, Attorney General, Solicitor General, MACC chief. Like I said, until we have that, we're not going to have corruption free, because there will be always the influence of one man on all these people. I don't know when that will happen, but it has to be through Parliament. Parliament can be the only mechanism that we have to balance things out, to balance the powers of the executive, and this is how democracy works.
And when will Parliament be open, do you think?
Well, I hope soon. I'm sure it'll be soon, because I think Ismail Sabri will be very confident now, because he has the support of Pakatan Harapan. That's about 80 plus votes there. So he should be comfortable. I don't think anybody can push him out. So he should call Parliament. He should even ask for a vote of confidence to show that he's accepted by the people. And I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure he will get it. I think people are tired of this jostling.
Yes.
People are tired.
Yeah.
I think if Ismail Sabri wants 18 months, I'll give it to him. After all, the election will be in 18 months' time. We should give it to him an opportunity to set things so that we can deal with this crisis. We can deal with this. You know, people like me who's got to find food on the table. You know what I mean? We've got to help the people, the poor people of this country. And this is what we have to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know whether, what's going to happen over the next 18 months, but at the end of the day, number one, I agree, people are tired. People, not only are they tired, they're hungry, they're desperate, and they're fed up. And we just want to be able to feel like there's some light at the end of the tunnel, a little bit of a horizon that we're getting there. We're seeing the end of the tunnel, because at the end of the day, you're right. To me, it doesn't matter who is PM 9, PM 10, PM 11, PM 12. I'm concerned about my neighbor. I'm concerned about the people who live across the street. I'm concerned about the calls I'm getting for people who can't pay their rent and are asking for baby diapers.
I think there are many things. People expect so many things. You can have a long list of expectations, Haris. But for the moment, I think if our Prime Minister, with the help of other MPs, can focus on three major issues, I think you will do wonders.
What are the three issues?
One, we have to bring down COVID. We have to show that we are successful in handling COVID, because this is a matter of life and death. I think politics can wait, or other issues can wait. We have to bring this down. Number two, we cannot allow the economy to sink. We cannot.
Okay.
And it is sinking. And number three, I think the number three is the confidence again. You see, when you are faced with crisis, the people needs leadership to give them comfort. The people needs leadership to give them hope. The people needs leadership to give them, so that they will not do crazy things. So that is where I hope the leaders can come together. When I say leadership, means whoever is in charge of what, they must get together and try and address some of these issues. And then
let me just go over those issues again. COVID.
In other words, COVID means we can bring the death number of the people dying. We can bring the number of cases in the infections rate every day. We make sure we have enough vaccines. We have make sure we have enough ventilators. We have make sure we have enough doctors. We have enough nurses. We have enough all the facilities. The Prime Minister has to assure the people that everything is there. And then, number two, the economy. And I think we need a finance minister. I don't know who's going to be the finance minister, because in this country, normally it's the Prime Minister, because he wants to take charge. But even if he takes it, I hope he will listen to good people, capable economists and capable finance experts, because our country is sinking, our economy. And number three, the general thing, the vision, the hope, the comfort that you have to give the people. It is so important. You cannot win this fight if the people are despondent, if the people are depressed, if the people have no confidence in the government. And that is why it is important for that to be addressed as well.
So with those three things, I would say I would make a plea if all the potential ministers who are going to be named tomorrow, if you could learn from Dato' ZAID IBRAHIM, COVID, economy, and confidence. And I would recommend that what you do is for your first week, since you have not stepped into your position completely, spend the first week on the ground with the people who are treating COVID and getting COVID at the hospitals and clinics, and then go and spend a week within the week in the PPRs or the people who are suffering from the economy, and just sit with them in their apartment for a night and see what it's like. And then I guarantee you, if you are seen to be doing these two things in the first week, you will gain the confidence of the public. And the public will go, MashaAllah, this man knows what we're talking about, or this woman knows how we're feeling.
You know, Harris, we have ministers, I don't know whether they will still be ministers. They're talking about going to Afghanistan to help the women. They're talking about trying to education in Afghanistan. I mean, we have the whole world we want to take care. Can we just take care of our own people first? Can we do something that is simple? So these people who, if they become ministers, I hope the Prime Minister will be very wary of them, because they are not focused. He must appoint people who are focused on the job, not on some political issues that make them popular. Elections are still a long way to go. And that's my hope.
It is also my hope, Zaid. I truly, truly hope. But you're absolutely correct. I mean, there is nothing wrong with understanding and being sympathetic and empathetic towards what is happening in other countries. But at the end of the day, go and study what is happening in your country first. And once it's all good and clear, then you can go overseas and help as well.
Of course, yeah. Especially our school, Harris, our education.
Oh yes,
The kids, 2 years, they don't even know how to. Some of them don't even have the facilities, and it is very taxing on them. And I think the teachers are suffering too, because this is something new to us, this e-learning and all this kind of thing, and it requires a lot of effort to get it right. So I hope we get the experts in, we get it right, we get the right person as the minister, and solve this problem. I think that's better. That's better.
You know what? We could talk another 3 hours about kids, because I really, really sympathize. I've got 3 kids of my own, and we're lucky. We're blessed. I have 3 devices. At least they can do some online e-learning. Tapi number one, it's already tough on them, because you can't look at a computer half the day from 8:30 a.m. to 1 or 2:30 p.m. But I can't imagine for those in the lower income group. Memang they probably lost 2 years of what I wouldn't say great education, but you've just lost 2 years of education. Like literally, it's very, very sad, very sad.
Yeah. So
I'm feeling already like you're right. You just brought up something very close to my heart.
I just hope one more thing, Harry. Sometimes I feel that our leaders do not show that kind of urgency that people expect from them. It's like it's just another day in the office. It shouldn't be like that. We are in a real difficult situation, and I think, I hope we have a team now with the collaboration between government and opposition. I hope we can have a team that can transform some of these things. We are in a serious situation. The country is.
The country is definitely in a very, very serious situation. And although I am hopeful, and I'm actually hopeful and glad that you are that way too, I can't say I am entirely confident that too much will change given the pool of people that you need to choose from. But I'm still hopeful that there can be real change with good leadership. And Zaid, before we go, can you just spend a couple of minutes, just, like if you, let's just say, like, for whatever intents and purposes, you were brought into this team of advisors around the ministers who are going to be announced tomorrow. What are some of the things that you would say that you have not already mentioned tonight? Like, what is the, like, okay, immediately you need to do A, B, and C. What is the A, B, and C that this new team need to identify and carry off, like literally do it right now, do?
Harris, don't you think it's a bit too late? I mean, they already got the list out.
Is it? I did.
Yeah. Well, it's not out yet. But the list will be announced tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So whatever we say is not going to make any difference. But I would say this, though. My hope is that regardless of the personalities selected, regardless of the number, I'm sure it's going to be like 50 or 70 again to accommodate everybody's interests. Although it's very silly and wasteful, but never mind. Let's assume that it's another 70 or 50 ministers. I just hope that our Prime Minister knows what he wants to do. I just hope that he will stand up and pronounce to the public, pronounce to the country, and to his ministers what he expects from them. Because only clarity and sense of purpose from him can make a difference. He has to outline it. He has to say it. He has to, and that's the only way we all can support it. That is very important.
I hear you. So your wish is that day one onwards, the Prime Minister lays down the law, the outline. This is what I expect. This is what we need to do. Hi ho, Silva.
Yes.
The Lone Ranger is a reference from the 70s. All the younger viewers out there will not understand. They will not understand. Okay, Dr. ZAID Ibrahim, I really appreciate your very calm demeanor and almost hippie-like belief in leadership. But you know what? I also, you're right. I believe a good leader can do wonders. Yeah.
When you're old, you just want some hope. You just must have some hope.
Yeah.
Because when you're younger, of course, you can experiment, you can be cynical, you can be whatever. But I suppose as you get older, we hope. We can only hope. I'm just being sanguine and hopeful because of that, I suppose.
Hopeful because of that. Okay. I agree with you. Yeah. If I was 25 years old, I'll be out at Dataran Merdeka waving a black flag as well. Tapi kita dah macam tak apalah, fan kat bilik ni lagi sedap sikit lah. Zaid, thank you so much for spending this hour with us.
I hope I've been helpful.
You've been very helpful. Everyone, please, if you are not following Dr. Zaid on Twitter, is it Zaid Ibrahim, ZAID Ibrahim? Is that your Twitter handle?
Yep.
Please follow him. And there's always something, especially in the morning. Memang dia, Dr. Zaid memang macam marah pagi. Malam macam ni dia dah calm down sikit lah. Dia dah calm down sikit. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. I do wish you all the best. And I look forward to your tweets tomorrow morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Terima kasih. All right, everyone. That was Dr. ZAID Ibrahim. Definitely at night, he's much lagi mellow character. You need to follow him on Twitter. Oh, pagi dia bantai. Dia apa ni macam ni? Government department macam ni lah, orang macam ni lah, orang macam tu. Tapi malam dia cool sikit. Dia macam, yeah, I got hope. All right, guys. Listen, I do the show What's Going On Malaysia because I am basically looking for the answer to that question. What is going on Malaysia? And I am so happy and proud that I get to talk to all these people who give me different points of view. I had Dr. ZAID Ibrahim today, a former minister in the Judiciary and Law Reform of the PMO. Couple days ago, I had Dr. Nazir Raza. Go back and watch that episode, please, because I think it looks further than just today or tomorrow. But to everyone who has been watching, have you been sharing? Have you been sharing? You need to share. Click right now. Click. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for you to share. Have you shared? Share it on your Facebook. Subscribe on my YouTube. Guys, I've been looking through the comments. Nice and calming session. Thank you so much. Yeah, nothing new. Raman Yi watches every week. Thank you, Raman. First of all, thank you, Raman Yi. I get to see your face. Today is a cat with the glasses. I like it. Victor, same old. But yeah, that's the thing though. Sometimes this country feels like it's the same old, doesn't it, Raman? Raman, you gotta let me know what is new old. Guys, I have got some exciting guests lined up. I cannot reveal at the moment. A lot of you have been asking for different individuals, and I am getting a lot of the individuals that you have asked for. Let me just say this. They are all just sort of lining up their schedule because, as you know, besok we are going to have the announcement of the cabinet. I'm sure you have already been shared the WhatsApp list of, I don't know whether it's true or not. But at the end of the day, as for tonight, 26 hari bulan August, I can't say that I found the answer to the question, what's going on in Malaysia? But I can say that I am one step closer. And today, what I have learned, my takeaway from tonight is that we, the people, the rakyat, need to maintain a little bit of positivity, a little bit of cohesion. Kita kena bersama. Kita kena berganding tangan. Especially right now, it's just coming up to not just Hari Merdeka, but also Hari Malaysia, such that we can lift our leaders up. You raise me up so I can lead Malaysia. Lagu ini memang tak kena. All right, guys. Didn't say I was a singer. But thank you for watching what's going on in Malaysia. Please keep a lookout for the next announcements of the guests I'm coming up, because I can tell you right now, boom, you're going to like who I'm going to be bringing on, not just in the next week, but in the next 2 and 3 weeks as well. Thank you, Helen Ashton. Thank you, Michael Anthony. Thank you for sharing, Helen. I really appreciate that. Everyone wants to see Dr. Jasmine Lim. They're going to ask when you're going to be a guest on my show, sayang. Come, sekejap. She said no, but no, can they hear your voice? She says she's in her pajamas. Who wants to see Dr. Jasmine Lim as a guest on my show, sitting right here, right next to me? Let me know if you want to see Dr. Jasmine Lim. And you know what, guys? I'm just gonna sit here and read all your comments. Thank you for watching what's going on in Malaysia. If you're not following the Hope Branch, please follow us, the HopeBranch.my on Facebook as well as and on Instagram and TikTok. And guys, be safe, stay positive, and no matter who is announced tomorrow, let's just wish them all the best. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you want to ask me what's going on in Malaysia, I would like to say, if we are all positive, we've got a good Malaysia just around the corner. Not 100% positive, but almost there. Thank you. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.